Welcome to the Making of YOR, a podcast where we turn ideas into game mechanics for our upcoming tabletop RPG, YOR. If you'd like to stay up to date on the developments of YOR, head over to our Discord. Link is in the description. We're going to talk about either more creatures or more class stuff.
Yeah, I'd rather do classes.
Yeah, let's do that. To be honest, we have enough creatures for play testing for a while.
Yeah, the 6 or 8 we're gonna do today aren't gonna really make a huge difference for what we need on play testing.
Yeah,
we're like halfway through the ones we've already made, so
yeah, and we'll probably do, I would imagine, at least one more episode after this one of probably game work, and then I suspect after that we'll be taking a break, and then I think after that might be ready to start
we'll
doing some play testing on Fridays.
Little Friday actual play, make Clayton earn his keep.
Yeah. Providing us a recording studio is not enough.
He thinks he can sit over there in the fucking peanut gallery.
He's not even in here today.
No, because he's a big old bitch.
All right.
Just like his dog.
Okay. So we recently went over Soldier. And I think we have it in at least a good enough spot to do some real play testing with it.
Yeah, I don't it's everybody's got a way to spend resource, and they've got some cool stuff to do, and they've got an attack or
bonuses and an
or
attack.
Something like that.
Yeah. Clayton's been playtesting Wizard quite a bit, and I think it felt fine, to be honest. The fight for me thing, it could take a while for it to come into play, so I don't know that it needs to change necessarily, the Necromancer ability for gaining a lot of mana. But I think most changes to probably the Wizard or alterations will just be in like the adding of spells.
Yeah.
And the Sorcerer we haven't play tested at all yet, but we'll get around. We'll probably be starting that pretty soon.
Yeah, it's he's about to run out of Wizard stuff. We'll see. Doc type magic user.
Yeah.
So the big old weedy nerd that he is.
Criminal still needs some work.
We decided to change that to whenever you attempt a skill check, right?
Yeah, that's what we played it in the game that I used it. And then I don't know, I just left it with Blue Mark because it seems just kind of like uncertain what we're going to do with his resource gen.
Ain't done yet. I think of like the fuck they're supposed to get for resource gen. I don't particularly like when you attempt a skill check. I like it better than what we had.
Yep, I don't think it's good because I don't think skill checks are like, they're just not something that would really be a part of the course of play enough of the time.
Yeah.
It's too often that a skill check is just, it doesn't make sense in the situation.
Yeah.
And pretty much everything else is either do action, like Wizard or something,
just do a thing.
Or do something you would already do. Like hit something.
Yeah.
Or use an ability that busts you in some way or something.
Yeah.
So I think it's just, it needs to be something else. We talked about the possibility of it being an action, like whenever you take some kind of generic action, like a disengage or something.
I don't know how many of those we're going to have.
I don't know how many we're going to have, and it also feels...
And,
weird.
With only elites having AOOs.
Yeah, it's kind of pointless.
No real dodge mechanic. Maybe it's like a movement ability, maybe for them, or a forced movement ability for somebody else.
Yeah, I guess if it could be something that, if it was because we have like the spell sword gets an ability that's a self buff.
Yeah.
And it generates resource.
Mm-hmm.
So in that concept, it could be a self buff
of
some kind. that also gives you resource.
Yeah.
Or it could be, a debuff on an enemy that gives you resource.
Yeah.
But a similar concept exists on the Witch currently, even though we're going to probably change the Witch some.
Yeah. It's as much as I look at it, I feel like there's better archetypes there. I just feel like the vibe of the class is wrong.
Which is cool, but I also do think that I don't think that their resource generator is necessarily bad.
Yeah.
While we may change a lot of stuff, I don't know that the concept is terrible. So debuffing an enemy, I think would be a valid
strat.
Yeah. So how would a criminal self-buff or debuff?
I mean, resource whenever you dash, like gain 1 resource, double your movement speed.
If we were going to do that, I feel like that could have to be like on a list of, because it's also a thing that like only sometimes would you ever want more than whatever 30 feet.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of times where that's not really a functional benefit. In like the spell swords case, it's change your damage type and gain 2 extra damage. So like always useful.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they have a thing where it's not particularly useful, but it gets them like 3 resource, just like the barbarians.
Well, on the barbarians case, they don't necessarily control when it happens.
Yeah.
So we could let them go the route of maybe like the wizard. Just it's a little different, but it generates 2 resource and they, and they take an action. If it's going to be something that they can just guarantee at each round, then I probably don't want to go over 2 resource. Because that's what the wizard gets.
Yeah.
So if they're gonna give up an action for 2 resource, we could give them something, I guess, beyond just they could get a movement buff too, because that wouldn't be necessarily. I don't think it would be too powerful if they got 2 resource and a movement buff.
Yeah. I mean,
or maybe they don't provoke AOOs, even though that's situational as well.
I mean, we took this away from everybody else, but what if we go back to experts are the ones that get a resource whenever they use their quick action?
Well, they don't have a quick action.
I know. It's just,
so just whenever they do anything with their second action,
they get a resource.
Well, if we did it that way, then maybe the criminal should just, well, we're already doing it with the, I was going to say
maybe it's you gain 2 resource whenever you take the same action with both your action and quick action. So like synergy or whatever. So if you take 2 attacks, you get 2 resource. If you use 2 items, you get 2 resource. You cast 2 cantrips, you get 2 resource.
I don't dislike this idea, but I think it should be the opposite of that.
Oh?
Whenever you use your 2 actions to do different things.
Oh, okay. I feel like that's just you get 2 resource at literally every round. Because how often are you doing the same thing with both your actions?
I would think it's more
I don't
often.
think you did that one time last game.
I did most of the time because there were a few times where I on 2 different turns I threw a Molotov and then did something else, and then on the next turn I threw a Molotov and did something else.
Yeah.
Which if I had to do it the one way wouldn't have gained me a resource on either turn. I don't know. I think the expert, if you were going to theme him, the concept being like you are always doing
you're always
things.
Doing something else.
Yeah. Especially if we want to encourage the expert to be using equipment.
Yeah.
Or using the consumable type stuff.
Yeah. So whenever you take 2 different kinds of actions, how do you phrase that?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's attack and use an item, or use an item and make a skill check, or make a skill check and an attack, or cast a spell and make a skill check. Or
yeah. Well, yeah, because we have the normal attacks are classified as a basic action.
Yeah.
Or basic attack.
Basic attack.
So, yeah, and so that would be one of the categories, like basic attack, use an item, make a skill check,
dash.
Yeah.
That could work.
Yeah, that might be that's probably one of those things that will be a little weird to get.
Because it's not really
a
list of things that you can use your action for. It's just, you got to do 2 of these things.
Yeah. You just got to use your actions to do two different things, and you get 2 resource. Which would mean that you are kind of always thinking of, well, how do I get the most out of doing 2 different things? I don't just do 2 attacks.
I don't just attack twice. I got to attack and then do something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, tactical gameplay from the expert. We got it.
Yeah, I think that is definitely worth trying. It'll definitely feel a lot more natural than this.
Yes. Failed a skill check. Give me more resource.
Yeah. Which is just kind of awful.
Yeah, I would, for the second turn in a row, like to divine the mysteries of the universe. Oh, I failed? Why, thank you.
I do not care if I ever succeed.
I need an impossible task. Why? Because I need reliable resource gen in combat.
Yeah, and it being on a success was even worse.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I succeeded on my knowledge check to remember how many holes cheese has.
Yeah, because then you just have to start to really be like, well, I have to do it optimally. Then you're very much, I have to pick some skill check that's a tier 0.
Yeah, let's do a tier 0 so I automatically succeed. And I give
yeah, not good.
Yeah,
not good.
I roll general knowledge to remember a knock joke as my action.
Until we come up with a better name, I'm just going to call the feature tactical gameplay.
Yeah. Diversify.
I think we should start calling that the feature that gives them a second action.
Yeah.
I think we should just call it expert action.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Yeah. Something that's like your quick action has a name. That way it can be referenced.
Yeah.
If you got an idea better than expert action, then we can use it. But I think...
so if we do that, then it's going to be like the fighter action, the magus action, the mystic action.
I mean, I don't hate that, but right now they're all called a quick action that you get the ability to, but we hadn't really, their specific quick actions we haven't had the need to be able to reference
I think
it.
the quick action is the part of the action economy, but maybe like expertise or something
is the name of this one.
Yeah.
That's fine. As long as it's something that people will remember and can easily identify it in separate text.
Yeah.
Then they know that that's what's being referenced.
Yeah, because quick attack, quick cantrip, helping hands, expertise.
I'll end up having to rewrite this.
Hey, I know what it means.
But it can be interpreted, I think, well enough right now. This is definitely a very niche type of effect.
Yep. We'll have a little table with the different kinds of actions and whatever whenever we finally get around to this.
Yeah.
Anything else we need to change about them?
We were talking about the second one, which had been, it was named something different. And then we talked about the idea of it being called Tough Guy. And so I put that there. But it had been called Cut Purse. And the feature that it has right now is technically still the Cut Purse feature, which we might just keep calling it. But, we discussed this concept of Tough Guy. And so I wrote that there as a possible thing to relook at.
Okay. Hitman, I like. Not entirely sure about Tough Guy or Con Man. I don't know. Criminal archetypes.
Well, yeah, Con Man, I don't think right now, like the feature that he has for expending resource is not bad, although I'm not sure that, feel like 3 might be too expensive.
Yeah.
But it's not that bad. I just don't feel like just getting an influence bonus. I'm not sure that it really encapsulates the concept.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like it just doesn't have
it doesn't really feel like con man-y.
Yeah, there's no like resonance to the concept.
Yeah, like the Hitman.
Yeah, that rings like a bell in my head.
Yeah. Like it feels dead on that's what a Hitman gameplay should feel like.
This what do. Tough Guy. I don't know. I'm trying to think of maybe we rename it to Goon.
Yeah. Well, and I thought if we had one like that, which is basically just like muscle.
Yeah. We could just call it the muscle.
Yeah.
Just name all the expert sneak thief archetypes.
Hitman, con man, muscle. But if we did name one muscle or tough guy or that kind of thing, I thought that he should probably get like an HP bonus.
Ooh, that'd be
one of his features would be that he gains more than the other archetypes.
Yeah.
Because they gain 6 right now, which is 2 less than the soldier.
Yeah.
So there is room. They could either get 1 more than they're getting, or they could get as much as the soldier because they're losing out on some other features that the soldier gets for straight combat.
What if it's if they go down in combat, they can spend 1 point per round to avoid taking a wound. Combat's over. Like, Batman's always beating these motherfuckers up, but they're never in the fucking hospital.
So they go down.
They go down, and as long as they've got some resource, like if they go down and they've got 3 resource, they have 3 turns for somebody to come pick them up before they take a wound.
What if, which is essentially like, because only a few people even have the ability to like get an ally up mid-combat.
Yeah.
I don't know that everyone even does. What if it's just as a reaction to going down and there's a flat cost? And if you spend it, you don't gain a wound.
Play dead.
Which is just like simpler, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's...
Yeah.
It means that you could pretty much always plan on like not getting a wound. But you know what? Not getting a wound is not the only bad thing that happens to you if you go down.
Yeah.
Like if you lose a fight, not gaining the wound doesn't mean that your teammates don't still leave you.
Yeah.
And you still get captured or killed.
We'll call it kayfabe.
What's that?
It's the wrestler thing.
Oh?
You know, like they're all pretending that it's real.
Oh, okay. I didn't know there was a term.
Heard that before?
No.
Man, I thought everybody who grew up in the South knew that word.
No, I am not familiar with it.
I spend too much time talking to wrestling fans, I guess. But no, it's like it's not as big a deal now. But you remember when The Undertaker used to get arrested because he'd get pulled over and wouldn't fucking say anything? Never break character.
Okay. Yeah, that would be interesting. Save that it is a feature that is built upon its usefulness is when you lose.
Well, yeah, but like if you're playing the muscle and you're like a guy whose previous job was henching,
I think if we give him that, there should be some other like simple feature that might be useful.
Well, I imagine he'll have like that's his like defensive feature instead of getting more HP.
Oh, okay.
He like knows how to make a hit look good and go down.
Do you think that he goes down, or is it also a feature that like he's able to, as a reaction to like whatever going down?
Yeah.
You like spend 3 resource. And let's see.
Oh, maybe it's a 2-parter. Maybe it's spend 3 resource, prevent a wound. Spend 1 resource, pretend to go down.
Okay. Yeah. Well, so there was another side of it that I was thinking that like, that would allow you to also like flee the combat.
Yeah. the secret Joestar family technique.
Yep. I lost and then like skulk away.
Yeah. I feel like that's probably the other archetype, the con man, whenever we redo it here in a minute.
Okay. All right. So if he has, again, I like these features, but they are very much predicated on losing a fight. But like both those ideas, like something related to going down.
Yeah.
And the other, which is not bad. It just means I think we should give them, if we give them those features, they should get another feature. Like right now, like the Hitman has 1 thing he can spend on.
Yeah.
And this would probably need a second thing to spend on too.
Oh, definitely. Hitman has one thing to spend on because Hitman's one thing is really, really good.
Yeah. No, for sure. And a lot of classes that are non-magical only have one thing to spend on, or at least in their archetypes. But I would be okay. I mean, like, obviously all the magic users have spells.
Yeah.
They may only get one thing from their archetype,
but they've got spells.
They've got other things to spend on.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't mind the expert having like additional things.
I do like the play dead thing. I feel like that really fits the archetype.
Okay.
What else? Something about him being strong.
Okay, so play dead, 1 efficiency. As a reaction to taking damage, you can fake your death.
Yeah. See, I feel like that's going to be one of those things that everybody wants to use.
Yeah. I think that's entertaining.
Yes. Because it's not necessarily about losing a fight. It's going up and picking a fight with a guard and then like having him hit you and then going down and then the rest of your party comes in and makes a big deal about it.
Yeah.
It's a very powerful social power.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it is.
I mean, look, it's the whole game of soccer is based on this exact principle.
Yeah. Well, yeah, winning soccer is apparently.
No, that game ends in a draw. Winning is clearly not the point.
Okay, so
again, if your sport can end in a 0-0 tie at the professional level, it's a garbage game.
Well, there goes all our European fans.
Yeah, get in the comments.
They don't exist, but if they ever do exist and they make it to episode 30,
you can hear me shit on soccer. I'll do golf and the American football later.
Okay, so that's 1 efficiency. So do we want then another defensive thing where they can avoid gaining a wound? That's a second defensive. Because technically it'll be a different feature.
Sure, yeah.
I can't really hide it under that same feature.
Yeah. Nah, I think that 1 is fine, and then we'll give them a better ability that they can also spend on that's more in line with. What does the muscle do?
So, I mean, the intimidation obviously is like an aspect of their thing.
Treat it as a tier higher when intimidating or making influence checks to scare people.
Yeah. I think that they should get that, and then they still need a feature to spend on, but I feel like that's a flavor feature.
Yeah. Oh no, maybe it's they get maybe it's like 2 for 1 on athletics and influence. Or no, maybe it's the tier up whenever they're trying to scare people, and then when they roll athletics checks for their clutch, they're 2 for 1 instead of 1 for 1.
Oh. Okay. And that technically can be used in combat.
Yeah. They just have better economy.
They're really intended to grapple people.
Yeah. Throw them around, grapple, be scary.
Yeah.
Take a dive. They're wrestlers.
Yeah. The muscle is definitely.
I didn't really put that together until just now, but we made the wrestler.
We made the wrestler.
Yeah. It's Gob Gob from the top rope.
This is not going to be a particularly powerful subclass, but it is going to be a heavily played one because it's going to be a very entertaining.
It's going to be very broadly applicable.
And there's going to be the 2 for 1 spending on clutch will mean that while it will largely be not necessarily a good class, but if you use it to abuse athletics checks, then it will be.
It's if you want to make Los Tiburon or whatever luchador WWE wrestler you have in mind, this is your boy.
Yeah. And if you end up with features that let you exploit athletics to do things, like a certain like boon classes or things that might rely on athletics checks to like achieve additional things like the vampire, or there will be others.
Yeah, grappling. That's
then you will be very good at grappling.
Yeah.
And throwing people. Definitely take the fling ally
feat. Oh man. Gael comes back as a wrestler.
Yeah. He might.
Yeah.
He might come back as the muscle.
Treat is a tier higher on athletics checks with this 2-for-1 clutch.
Yeah. I think Gael might be muscle now.
Yeah.
I'll have to give it a try.
That would be hilarious. He comes back wearing the mask. I have found myself. I am no longer Gael. I am
El Guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely.
You gotta bring him back as El Guy.
Oh, it's happening. Yep. Next time I play him, he's gonna be El Guy the muscle.
Yeah.
And I feel like that could enter into my he's just gonna this isn't going to be Gael.
Yeah.
I mean, it may be narratively for us, but this is just going to be a new character in my rotation of characters.
Yeah. Honestly, in my head, these are all just Gael losing his mind.
Well, like Gael's been a character that I've wanted to bring back since that D&D game we played, and I have like 3 others that I would consider like rotation characters. But I think El Guy is definitely going to become...
He's Gael's lesser-known brother.
Yes.
He's on a quest across the multiverse to find his brother, and he's always a day late and $1 short.
Yeah, he's always just right behind him.
I am El Guy. I search for my brother.
I love it.
This is really good.
I think it's hilarious. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be extremely annoying as this character.
I can't wait.
To myself, but I'm pretty sure that other people might like it. Jason's going to love it.
Oh, man. Jason's going to be here for it.
This is going to be Jason's favorite character.
Yeah. Yeah, it really might be.
Yeah. Okay, we can't tell him. We'll just have to.
Yeah,
just have to start a game.
Not gonna hear this episode forever.
Nope.
He definitely won't hear it before the 25th of September.
Yeah. All right. Well, the muscle feels fun to play.
Yeah. Now we got to get Con Man. What? So we have the Hitman, the muscle. What other archetype do we really need? They're all good at stealing shit. So.
Yeah. I mean, technically, they all have a bonus to finesse, and they all have clutch, which would technically allow them to do that.
Yeah.
Well, but then again, that's stealing stuff in the context of you have resource to spend.
Yeah.
Which often you're doing it outside of combat.
Yeah.
But that's why we renamed it to Criminal 2 instead of Sneak Thief, rather than it being focused on
the sneaky, stealthy part.
Yeah.
Now you like part of the underbelly of society.
So you're maybe pretty decent at skulking, but there's also more specific stuff than that. Yeah.
Oh. Fence is not particularly interesting as a combat class.
No, and as a matter of fact, I think if you want to be not necessarily a fence, but like if you want to play that side of it, when I made the class, I chose the merchant profession. Yeah. And I feel like just taking the merchant profession as a criminal.
Yeah.
I
just got shit everywhere.
It plays into that concept. Yeah. And whatever we end up making as merchant boons will almost certainly be things that would be useful for a criminal to use.
Yes.
In that, like if you wanted to role play that thing.
Not a commentary on society, guys. It's just a coincidence. I swear. Face is too meta.
Yeah, which is kind of what Con Man's supposed.
Yeah, that was sort of their thing,
like the face class. but influence is not enough.
Yeah. Maybe it's the boss.
Yeah, hitman, muscle, and
Boss. He plays saxophone and does a lot of knee slides.
So he I guess he could have like a replaceable goon.
Ooh, yeah.
I mean, if you wanted it to be like just it's like a class that exists in like if the boss is intended to be like a comic book villain,
Yeah.
i.e. we're not really paying too close attention to how it works.
Yeah.
Because obviously like we gave some thought to a wizard and if their familiar dies, like how they'd get it back. And we've done that with some other, the same thing with druid and their dude. This would be like, well, you don't have a dude that you have gotten magically.
Yeah, no, you just there's a guy. You have a guy.
You have a guy, and like I feel like your guy can die, and then you just get another dude.
Yeah, you get a guy, and then you can replace him with a downtime action in any town.
I guess.
Yeah, anything above any tier 2 settlement or above. Like what is it? Tulsa King.
Yeah. That feels like that could be fun.
Yeah. I'm thinking like a second chance at a first impression. Like if you beef a social role.
Yeah, some kind of social benefit would be good. I mean, you could always have if you beef a social role. Well, I don't know. You could do this already, which is like offer people money. But
yeah,
I don't know. A feature called Money Talks.
Yeah.
It, to me, does sound kind of funny.
Yeah. That sounds like an April Fool's class.
Yeah. You can pay someone to try and talk to them again.
Money talks and bullshit walks.
Okay, so let's first sort out the idea. If we want the idea of a boss, which I like, what really should the goon be, and how would it work? What is this goon? What kind of features does he have, or like what quality of creature is he?
Yeah.
And if we can get all that sorted and we like it, then I think we can come up with something else for him.
Yeah. So he's expendable.
I mean, we have to assume he is in keeping with the concept of this character. Unless I feel like we're doing something too. I get, is it comic booky, which means he's very expendable?
Yeah.
Or is it going to be like more? Like, there's quite a few stories where you have an actual cool crime boss type guy, and he's got a right-hand man who's actually dangerous.
Yeah, the dragon.
Yeah, and there's a lot of that kind of thing in media.
Palpatine has Vader.
Yeah, and before that, he had Maul.
Yeah.
Or even like The Gentleman, that movie, he's got a sidekick. And you could go down the line of like crime movies where they have a right-hand man who's like dangerous.
Yeah.
I mean, even in freaking John Wick, I think he's just like goon number one.
That would not be terrible, is a boss who like does all his combat from the goon.
Yeah, maybe. That'd be really weird class, but
yeah, it would. Maybe that's like a tier 3 feature.
Oh, you finally hire like a capable bodyguard.
Yeah, you get a
So at tier 2, you're just hiring like...
You just get some guy, and then at tier 3, you get John Wick.
you get like a terrifying...
Yeah. Signature move. Promoted.
I don't know. It could also be like... I mean, we could give him more than one follower.
Yeah.
Like, he has a couple...
He has a tier 2 mob.
Yeah, he has like a mob, and they're just like real weak dudes.
Yeah,
but he has like a gang.
Yeah, gang stalkers.
So then we could call him boss, or we could call him gang leader.
Gang leader.
And his bit is that he is actually a gang class.
He actually has like a crew. That feels hilarious. That feels like maybe too much to keep track of.
I mean, you don't have to pick it. There's always that.
Yeah, I'm trying to talk myself out of not playing this.
I mean, it feels like something I'd want to play.
Absolutely. I'm trying to like, all right, no, I couldn't. I wanna.
Yeah, that's the problem.
I
know we're eventually going to allow for the concept of you like running armies and stuff, like multiple classes. But this would be on more of a personal level.
Yeah.
And so like, if you reached tier 4, these guys would be more like elite bodyguards.
Yeah. All right. I like gang. The crew.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have a tier 2 mob.
This is a wild thing, but I like the idea of experimenting with something really awkward.
Weird shit.
I feel like we should make it because nobody makes a thing like this.
Yeah, nobody lets you have the crew at level 5.
Yeah. Or that it like is mechanically tied into your class, having a crew in them getting better.
I got the leadership feat. That just means I got some bullshit written on the back of my character sheet.
Yeah. Okay. What should we name it? What should be the name of the archetype?
I like the boss.
Okay.
Because I mean, we're criminals. We got the hitman, the muscle, and the boss.
So, as the boss, do we leave the smooth criminal feature?
I don't really like it.
Okay.
It just feels real generic.
All right. Do they have a bonus to like influence or leadership type stuff? Or a deal making, if you will?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of how to do that like second chance thing, but without resource. Because the boss is there to keep everybody.
What if we this is something that we haven't done yet.
Okay.
But it is something we could do.
Yeah.
Which is what if this class had a special way to use their hero token?
Oh, well, okay. So in my notes right now, I have written down every class or archetype gets own hero point usage.
Okay. Which we haven't come up with those yet. And I don't even know if we've talked about it before.
Yeah.
But the idea of
everybody gets their own little way to be a hero.
Yeah. And that'll take some time probably to come up with.
Yeah. It would be cool to do it for all of them, every class and then every archetype.
Well, we probably just need to do it for every archetype. I don't know that we need to do it for every class.
Well, I mean, we don't necessarily have to. I just think it'd be cool to have this is how everybody can be a hero. This is how fighters can be a hero. This is how a soldier can be a hero.
Yeah. I think the idea of making unique hero point usage as a goal is a good idea for try and do that for every archetype.
Yeah.
There's like 30 something, right? Or 42.
Yeah, 14 classes times 3.
14 times 3, so 42. Which I don't think is impossible, but it will take some time to come up with 42 unique uses.
Yeah, I cannot tell you guys how happy I am. We didn't plan that, but I am really happy it turns out there's 42 of them.
We did not. We did not plan.
We just sort of made as many as we thought was viable for 2 dudes to make, and it turns out it's the perfect number.
Well, really what happened was we were like, there are 4 basic concepts of an archetype in fantasy worlds.
Yeah.
And so we started with 4, and the natural expansion of our concept led to
everybody gets 2, and then we'll have cross classes.
Well, that's 3 more.
Yeah. I've been thinking about calling them paths.
Freaking cross paths.
Cross paths. Fork in the road.
Make that joke again.
Yep.
Okay. So
all right.
If we give him a unique hero point use, then we need to plan to that. We need to plan that to be in addition to a couple of other features.
Yeah.
Because we'll be adding that to everyone probably.
So I don't know. I feel like he needs something to spend to make his mob do cool stuff.
On resource.
Yeah.
Yes. The hero point he could spend, and it maybe is something special with the dialogue option.
Yeah. I am the one who knocks. Say my name.
But it may not even be making a deal. It could be, and I don't know, there's a lot of archetypes here, and any idea we have, we'd have to weigh it against every other archetype and be like, is this best for this archetype? But, you know, it would be cool if, like, some class could spend a hero point of, like, when you enter initiative, you could spend a hero point to calm everybody down and just leave the combat.
No, wait.
Talk your way out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, that could be cool.
And that kind of feels like it could be the boss. I don't know if it's more appropriate for someone else.
I feel like that'd be cool on like the Crusader.
Talk your way out of it.
Yeah.
Or
stop the fight.
Yeah. Peacemaker.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, actually, that might make the most sense on a cleric.
Oh, yeah.
Or I don't know, maybe
maybe the Royal Bloodline Sorcerer, Pax Arcana.
No, Peacemaker would be an aesthetic feature.
Oh, yeah.
The aesthetic immortal.
100%. That's what he can do.
Yeah. The aesthetic immortal definitely is the guy who says, no, we're not fighting.
This is not the fight you want. Yep, I like that. Cool. We're definitely doing at least archetypes get their own.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. But mob feature resource, what would be cool to have a tier 2 mob do?
I'm going to name the feature The Boys.
The Boys.
It's hilarious that we gave this to the criminal and not like the warlord fighter.
Yeah. I love it. Warlord will get his due at tier 3.
Yes, I think the warlord fighter is a little tougher to give it to because he's just naturally better in combat than this guy will be.
Like, oh, what if we double down on the combat thing? Oh, what if we made him really like not great at combat, but gave him some dudes to do that for him?
Yeah, this does make more sense.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm thinking something like they can borrow the party members' resource abilities or something. Like they can pick one and then it costs that much resource plus 1.
Interesting. Yeah, it might be that, or maybe we'll take all of the resource talents we've made.
Yeah.
And like pick some of them even, and they're like a list of things they can do, they can spend resource on that are like more like generic actions.
Yeah.
I think that's not a bad idea, but that might be something that's better at a later tier.
Yeah.
That they would be able to get like somebody else's, like a class.
Basic stuff, yeah.
Rather than having a class resource feature.
Yeah.
Because you are getting a second health pool and a second source of damage. I assume they will generate 1 resource a turn and the boss and them share resource pools. So that it's easier to track. You just have 1 resource pool.
I don't think I think they're treated as one creature, or either the mob doesn't generate resource for the party.
Well, yeah, there is no party resource.
Yeah, well, I imagine the mob doesn't have anything to spend resource on either.
Oh, I thought that's what we were just talking about. The mob could do.
No. I was thinking so when boss character spends resource, he could spend it on the mob using an ability or him using an ability, but it's only his resource.
Oh, okay. Well, so I would be fine with the resource gain. Like they don't gain resource for you.
Yeah.
Good with that. So you're just relying on your methods of resource gain. But then I still think that maybe it's that they should just get like a list of generic, like maybe the talents or something, and they can use those as resource abilities. But they're using the boss's resource.
Yeah. Maybe we just let them pick a resource talent.
Yeah. Something like that.
Pick 1 resource talent, and then they know that, and then you can spend your resource on them doing it.
Yeah, that's pretty simple.
Yep.
And like I think we should bookmark the idea of them getting a unique resource like from a class or something like that as like a later tier thing.
Yeah, something like that.
Maybe. Because if we open that up, I think they could end up with some really, really weird
wild
abilities.
shit. Yeah.
Which may not be a bad thing, but I am hesitant to write it down as like their starting feature.
Yeah, no, I like the talent thing better anyway. So they pick one resource talent and then they can use that with the boss's resource.
Alrighty. Cool. Well, I think that's probably enough for tonight. And then we'll work more on the boss probably on Wednesday.
Yep. Whenever we reconvene.
Sort it out. Well, that'll be it.
Catch y'all on the flip side.